Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Night of the Dead. Right, so let's crack on with our new base. Yeah, it's kind of starting to look like a base. At last, we're getting there. It's getting there. So let's just cover off a few things between this episode and last episode. So I do try and take the time to read any comments and posts that people make and respond, especially if it's something that it's a big space there. Especially if it's something that I haven't actually responded to in the past. Oh, and actually what I'm doing now, other than leaving a big hole, that's not good. That's what I'm doing now reminds me, it's very topical, of a post that I read. A very good question. Somebody asks, why am I not using... I hate it when you can't get these there. First, let's pick the middle one. We'll get the best of that. And then we'll go off that one. Oh, typical, I've run out of stuff. Okay, so... why am I using walls and not just stacking foundations? And it's a good question. So these zombies go past. And then we go grab a few more bits and pieces of resources so I can show you what I mean. Hopefully we can completely ignore these zombies. Why am I not stacking foundations? Now, why would I stack foundations? Well, I think the comment was probably due to the fact I was complaining last episode about how expensive it God, I can't even speak today. How expensive it is to build a base that's raised because you're spending all of these resources on your foundations. If I stack foundations on top of each other, then that's going to be cheaper than building, all these walls. And that is very true. It certainly would be. But it comes down to how much structural stability do you want your base to have? Now, the method I've chosen is not the strongest by far. It certainly is not. I could go for much stronger base foundation. Let me explain. I actually started setting up a little example here. Here's one I prepared earlier. So, first of all, let me just talk about what I've currently got. If a zombie decides for some reason to, on the way in, let's go from the worst case example, on the way in, he comes over here, he picks on this single support pillar here, and he takes out this wall. What happens? The answer is nothing happens. My base, this post here, will still stand. If this bottom foundation was high enough so that most attacks hit the foundation, or if I stack another foundation on top so that most attacks hit a single point foundation, and that foundation is lost, the whole thing collapses. You lose your pathing, and the moment you lose your pathing, you lose your base, because the zombies then just start attacking everything. So a single point, which sadly I have to put down here. Well, I don't have to. I'll show you options in a minute. So a single point base defense, which is a foundation to start, is weak. The weakest point of this column is that single square. These 4 blocks actually allow me to lose some of the blocks and for it to still maintain some kind of structure. I mean, there's some that it's not all walls. I mean, if I lose this one here on the right, actually, it will cause a problem potentially, as opposed to the ones on the straight here where it won't. But I'm getting a bit more technical now. Let's go to another option for building. You can do this. So if you want, or if you expect zombies to be hitting a location a lot, or if when I build this base I found out, let's say, this post here takes an awful lot of damage. I'm concerned I will lose this post. I could take it down and rebuild it using columns, because it's quite capable of going like this. Yeah, and you can even do it in depth. I can actually fill out, if I really wanted to, all 100 nodes, or since they're actually shared, I do believe it's 90 nodes, because of the way it shares across the edges, with columns. Yeah, this could just be a mass block of fully upgraded metal columns, if I wanted it to. And then, you know, carry on up. And that's probably the strongest design there is for a foundation, because if the zombies come along and take out the column, yeah, wherever. I've got 90 odd more, like, you know, it's... So it is literally just a case of how much structural stability do you want your various base points to have. From the cheapest and weakest, which would be stacked foundations, to the most expensive but incredibly strong column formations. And that's the reason why I'm using the method I am. One foundation below the point of most zombie attacks. Most zombie attacks will be above that level. So it's one foundation at a safe height, followed by 4 walls, whereby I can afford to lose some of the walls potentially and still keep pathing. There you go. I hope that helped with that question. Very good question, actually. I don't often get opportunities to go, you know, in depth on some of the building decisions that I'm making. I do try my best to analyze things in some of the games I play and test things out and then give feedback on what I'm finding is working or not working and why. But things like the structure integrity actually of building pieces is something that's common across quite a lot of games. Like, you know, at the moment we're doing a lot of Conan Exiles as well at the same time, and that's another game whereby there's a whole mass of different ways that you can build a single block with cross wall foundations or pillars, or I mean, there's a whole host of different things you can do to add extra support. Add some more traps now. I think we've got every bit square here now filled with a trap. I believe we have. This is looking good. Looking good. Yeah, we are. We're fully trapped up. Except for the front. Well, I'll decide on that later. So I'm just trying to think about what kind of other traps I would want on here. I don't really want to go down the pendulum route. Really, the best type of trap for this design, as far as I can see, would be anything that would knock them left or right. So shredders, bags. Shredders do a good job of knocking things off. And while I'm standing here, hey, why don't I just get some work done and get those walls in? That's too far. Okay. So yeah, shredders do a good job of knocking things off. They knock them left and right there. Cutters do a fantastic job of knocking things off. Crushers don't, obviously, but they're good at just stopping things momentarily, getting a hit on whether it's a crawler, an exploder, or anything for whatever reason manages to get past some of these, which they shouldn't do. Oh, there's an upgrade bit I've missed. A crusher's good for. Crusher's also good for corners. So it's really going to be a very limited, uninspired line of shredders and cutters. I mean, it is quite narrow in its design of the types of traps I'm using. I can't use spike floors because I'm on a raised ground and you can't place a spike floor on a raised ground. Guillotines are really good. They're really, 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 really good. But there's something that I always add as an added extra later. I did demolish this. Just in case you're not familiar with why I just demolished that. Cutters can only be placed up in the air on these if they are the floor. Yeah? If a cutter is the floor, it's fine. So a cutter itself is a floor. Okay, that's why you have to take it out. I mean, the good side of it, they don't catch fire. So although they look like wood, they're not flammable. So yeah, that's why that's happening. How many more trap can I lay? I can lay quite a few, I think. I got loads of trap pieces. I got some bits and pieces on me. I got the last ingot. I'm got tons of trap components, which is good because that means we can go potentially crazier than a crazy person with guillotines later on. We can probably put masses of guillotines in. Now, I mean, there is a downside by creating a complete wall of guillotines. And simply put, actually, let me just build the other crafting station now. Simply put, the reason I don't want to put a massive block of guillotines, I leave myself some room to run between them, is it's very costly. Yeah, I mean, it's really expensive. To have lots of guillotines. They only have 10 hits, and then you're using, yet again, a tree branch. God, I'm really not with it today. Using up a tree branch, which is the most expensive resource you have on getting your guillotine working again. So yes, if you've got several thousand tree branches just stacked up ready to rock and roll, go for it. Why not? You might as well. Right, let's do something else that I need to do and I didn't do last time. How many have I got? These are only 3. I want more than 3. Okay, what am I about to do? You look at me thinking, oh yeah, he's going to use barb fences. I have got great mazes of barb fences, and no, that's not what I'm doing. Yes, I am going to place a barb fence. No, it's not for the reasons you think. Barb fences are good for several things. Yes, you can put them as a way to injure zombies coming towards your base. That's not the best, because once a zombie gets injured, as I said before, and then it moves into a space where it's not being injured anymore, it kind of reassesses what it's going to do. Sometimes it will run back and attack the thing that injured it. Sometimes it'll attack something else. It can start slamming, attacking them. You're just causing confusion. In fact, let me just switch to a lightsaber. So the reason the reason I want to put down some barb fences is purely for what I just did, chasing after rabbits. I want to put down barb fences as a very cheap way to catch myself food. Let's splatter them down in some areas whereby I think animals will travel, because there's an animal over there. I seen a rabbit over here, but let's put some random ones down here to see if I can catch some rabbits. Yes, of course, there's a thing called, animal traps that I can lay down and catch myself some food. But if I put down animal traps, I have to keep getting seeds to refill them all the time to keep getting more food. It's where just scattering barb spikes all around the place where you're working, just, dotting them around, trying to funnel some points where you think animals are traveling can net you quite a lot of foxes and rabbits, etc. Passively. You're not having to worry about anything, you're not actually having to collect anything, you're not actually having to refill anything. You're just going, oh look, there's a bunch of rabbits. Right. I am now going to quickly run off and grab a ton of tree branches. So I will see you all later. Okay, we're back. I'm carrying on working on the base here. What we're about to. Just need to get some more bits and pieces. Oh, a few zombies enjoy themselves in the little fun house there. So another comment that I read, which is a good one to cover, and a chance for me to actually ask the community something. And that is, somebody said that, oh yeah, I think it was in response to me saying that some zombies are at last like respawning. I think somebody then said, oh yeah, everything respawns. You know, maybe with the exception of stuff. Look at that gap. How's that even damaged? Whatever. Those are great things. So, with the exception of stuff directly around your bases, they were saying that everything will respawn. Trees, bushes, cars, you know, stones on the floor, mushrooms. And I do know that that is the case with new games. If you create a new game, you can see you got all these options, and you can, you know, set the respawns and all those goodies. Yeah, I am aware of that. However, I am not sure if that actually is true of all these are at zero. Better reload them. If that is true of games that were started right at the very beginning of the launch, like mine that started on day one, I have yet, I'm not going to say no, but as of yet, I have not seen a single tree, bush, mushroom, little stone on the floor, anything other than a zombie respawn. I can't actually tag that floor, that's annoying. I need to probably pick that trap up. So I have not seen a single thing respawn anywhere on the map. Yeah, if I go to an area whereby I know I've picked up some stuff or chopped down a few bushes, they're still chopped down. Yeah, if I look over there, there's trees, but if I go over there, those trees aren't there. That's just the world map, basically, you know, with baked in stuff saying, oh yeah, display this at a distance. Don't try and work out whether that tree is really there or not, because that takes up CPU time to sort of like say, oh, should I be drawing? Should I not be drawing every time I'm turning? It just basically says, oh yeah, there's a tree, just render the trees in it on their distant view. And then when you get closer, it then says, oh, is that tree really there? And that's a sensible thing. Yet again, it's just a thing that is being done to try and make sure that people, that the, you know, your computer is spending all of its resources on things that it needs to, like zombies. Okay. So the question to the community is, does anybody out there have a game save like mine that is from the very beginning of the game and have some kind of resource spawn? What am I missing here? Ingots. Yeah, so that's the question. Have you seen, other than zombies, which I say we know do respawn, has anybody actually seen a tree or a bush or a car or anything in the world respawn after, I mean, I've been doing this for this is wave 111 now, this will be at all, anywhere, absolutely anywhere has there been one? Because as I said, as of yet, I have not seen a single respawn. Which means that my world, to trim logs, not trim stone, my world has a finite amount of resources. I will run out of resources eventually. It'll be a long time. It's a big world. I'm not really concerned that much about the fact that I'm going to run out of resources because there are a lot of trees out there. But they will not regrow. Yeah. On my save, as far as I can tell, that isn't a thing. As I said, if somebody has one of the early games like me, and they are experiencing a respawn, I would be very interested to know. I would want to know what type of thing you have found that respawned. Where am I going with this? What am I doing? Cooking on it. What type of thing have you seen respawn? And what day? Yeah, what? I could probably do cooking over here. I'm not doing anything over here. It's just a little island. So yeah, that's what I would like to know. Thank you very much. It would be very interesting. I just want 3 of those because I need actually to create some. That's pretty good balancing you've got there. I want some manure. Fantastic. Okay. We're good to crack on, I think. One of the things I could do with actually creating up here, at last, eventually getting around to it again, is maybe putting down the old plantations. So 4 planks. Just to save me running back to the sausage factory. And even at the sausage factory, we've kind of... What did I not get? Oh, I used to pull my leaves. Can you believe it? The one thing before in the past, you would just have mountains of. Now that they've increased the leaf demand on maintenance kits, so that maintenance kits use up an awful lot more leaves. Leaves are once again becoming a commodity. Let's just whack a bit more upgrade. I'm going to take a quick run up to the old sausage factory. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, we are back. Lots of these little holes I haven't actually filled in. I do need to block them up. The reason I'm blocking them up is I don't want zombies to... I don't actually need to block up the top ones. I don't want zombies to somehow bounce or find their way onto the interior. I mean, if you watched... If it was 1 or 2 episodes ago, we did actually have that. You had some zombies standing inside these kind of areas. Oh, okay, I'm out. And of course, once they get up on there, for whatever reason, however they manage to do it, they can't really get back off, and they just start smashing everything around them. So, not good. Not what you want, definitely. Zombies on the insides of stuff is not going to do your base any good whatsoever. So, I do want to close off all ways for that to happen. Now, could they get in there? I don't know. I can't place... I say I can't. You can't use the snap method to place, but I'm just going to drag around. There you go. Yeah. Just going to drag around it on the non-snap. So take the snapping off and just drag around and see if it flashes blue anywhere and what options we've got for blue placements. I actually want to try and get this one in line with the other one. I don't think I'm going to get... Oh, it sticks out too much. I don't like that. I'll take that lower blue option it gave me at one point. It did give me a low blue. Yeah, again, it's sticking out quite a bit, isn't it? I don't really like it sticking out that much. Go on, I'll take that. Yeah, so take your snap off anyway and just try it without the snap. Because quite often that will just give you a blue flash sometimes somewhere. So even when the game basically says, no, you cannot do something, you cannot place it, take the snap off, wiggle it around. If even for the briefest moment you see a flash of blue, then persevere and keep trying until you actually manage to get that blue. Sometimes the only way to get something to fit is when there's a flash of blue, keep wiggling back and forth between the two, red sort of no I can't, either side of the blue that won't let you actually pick it, and keep spamming your left mouse key and trying to time your left mouse key so that as the graphic passes from one red to the next red, you just keep hitting the mouse key all the time, and sometimes it will actually register the mouse click and trigger the blue placement, even though the game itself at no point actually stays stable on that blue placement point. So you can end up sometimes getting things placed in positions that the game just for some reason does not want you to place them there, even though there's a flash of blue. Right, this is starting to have some kind of strength to it. It's not a lot. I mean, there's still an awful lot of wood here. An awful lot of very weak points. You know, one exploder that sets this on fire and we're in trouble. If I need to flamethrower the zombies, which I'm going to a lot, then the base is going to catch on fire. One hot sausage fun when we're streaming and the base is going to catch on fire. So I do need to, let's actually get rid of my trimmed logs. I don't need the trimmed logs, just lumber and planks. Anything else showing up there I don't really need right now? Let's turn the rebar back into, wow, that's a lot of rebar. Into, and these. Yes, I'm going to need a lot of this. When I get ready to upgrade everything to metal, I'm going to need a lot of that. But right now, I'd actually like to see a quite sensible grouping of what we've got of other resources, because that actually gives me more traps, I do believe now. Yeah. How are we doing for traps? Did we finish all the trap points other than guillotines? We did. Now, guillotines are your friend. You do want to use guillotines. And I could actually have, I mean, I've shown this many times before in the past. I could show it again. You can actually put it here. You can put 10 guillotines in a single block. Yeah. So I could, if I wished, these zombies finally came in this corner, I can put 10 guillotines on this single piece here. Let's get some upgrade stuff. So guillotines are your friend. They do great single strike damage. They are fantastic at taking down bosses. They really are great. Downsides to guillotines: they only have 10 actions, and then you're using up valuable tree branches. So what I would say about a guillotine is try and have them later in your sequence. Don't put all your guillotines near the front. You want your front to be the area where the trash mobs, the rubbish mobs, the mobs that, you know, your daytime spawn guys, the non-bosses. Oh, I'm out of cement. This is going to be so costly. Yeah, that's where you want to chew up and kill all of the rubbish zombies. So don't go putting guillotines in that section. I want to get some manure. Because, oh, I'm actually out of that. I need to go back to my factories or mine some stuff. Wow, okay. I'm genuinely out of stone. I brought back some leaves. Let's make my little farm now while I remember. So yeah, you want, not farms, push. Oh, it's not going to be able to go up here because as you can see it needs depth. So it can't go on a raised area. That's okay. I mean, it shouldn't get attacked if I place it a little bit of a decent distance away from the base. So put it over here somewhere. It should be fine. Yeah, guillotines, you want them mid-base onwards. Somewhere whereby... I want this to... The road doesn't line up with the squares. Ah, that's a pity. Okay, we've got some started. I need to go and mine some stone. I'll carry on recording the episode. I know this means it's quite a long episode, and please skip forward if you want to get to the end action. Please do. But I do also get quite a few of the audience say, "Oh, we want to see you building. We want to see what you're doing during the day." So I do want to put a little bit of the daytime building in, chance for me to have a chat and say that, you know, why am I doing certain things, or how do certain things function. I'm just checking for dead rabbits there. Yeah. So I will pad out at the moment some of the episodes up to a nice good hour or something, just so we can cover some other points. Just making sure I actually cleaned out the space at the end of last session. I did. Now, all my factories, if you want to call them that, at the old base. They're all at the sausage factory. And we'll get some resources from in here. Only because this is the base, and they're also growing, that I have no plan, I have no vision at all in which I am going to purposely take down the sausage factory. Yeah, the plans for the sausage factory at the moment are to be there as our safe haven when we are building new bases and testing out new designs, and we need somewhere to run back to. It's all good. It's all good. I go drop off some fuel. I've got literally no limestone, and sadly I also know that there's no limestone in this lot. These are all empty of limestone. I got lots of chests, yeah, I know, inside the base, but none of them have got limestone. The only chance I would have had is a mass empty of my backpack at one point to do something crazy, which usually ends up in these front few boxes if I'm just dumping my backpack somewhere quickly to go and do something. So these sometimes have like strange oddities of stuff in it. I think, oh right, I've got some more of that than I thought because I just dump stuff in these chests. But no, there's none. No limestone, which means we need to go mining it. But yeah, as I was saying, that mining stuff is currently there at the moment because I have no plan to get rid of the sausage factory right now. And because of that, it's a great place for me to leave the things like the factory sort of like things. It's not good at the moment because they're not being kept running the whole episode. You know, if they were local, they could just be running around the clock, in which case I would get max, pick up resources from them and keep them going. This way now I might visit it once or twice during a whole wave, which is not great. They're not really doing their job, doing their work. So if this base becomes a success, if it starts doing what I hope it can do, then things like the factory machines, etc., will end up being rebuilt down here. I will move them to this lovely flat area we have down here. Because we have a lot of space down here on the map. Once all these trees have been cleared out, you can see that there's quite a lot of room for a nice flat open expanse. But on the other hand, I mean, let's rethink on that. The reason I like this big flat open expanse is it allows us the option to create another base of a different design nearby. I can just, loads of room, I'll just build another one by there. Try something else out. If I fill it all with machines, I'll have no room. I would have got rid of all of the advantages, like. So, I will do something, that's all I can say. That doesn't mean I have to keep running all the way to the sausage factory. The odd 1 or 2 bushes that I haven't actually cut down in this area. And no, they haven't regrown. I mean, I'm just slowly but surely removing the tree line in this area. It's getting cut back bit by bit. Every episode it just slowly thins out and cuts back. I mean, cutting trees are obviously not the most useful way of getting tree branches. The little bushes are much better. But yeah, I've cleared most of them out. And all these little stones, I do pick them up now and again. I don't need that many. You need them for repairs, but yeah, it's getting less and less in the area and fading away. So another quick look at my little spikes. They're probably not in the best position for catching stray foxes or rabbits. So what I'll probably do is over the next, like, say 5 or 10 episodes in this area, I'll just keep an eye on where foxes and rabbits tend to run, where they spawn, and reposition some of the spikes and start catching myself some free food. Fox. Because it's not the pigs and all that other stuff that you can see around that you want. The reason you want this is you need that small meat to do manure and all the rest of it. And yes, okay, you can say, well, why don't you plant more small traps to catch them? As I said, it then becomes, okay, I need to make sure I've got enough seeds. And I do plant small traps, don't get me wrong, because you end up getting a big pile of seeds anyway. But I've got 6 traps at the other base. I will start putting down a bunch of small traps in this area as well. I'm at 30. I'm good. So yeah, it will be done. It will be done. 6. Is that all I've got? Seriously? 6. That's painful. You look at the base like this and you think, well, this upgrading I've got to get done. 6. It's not really gonna do much here. Right, let's do 6 and start thinking about getting some of this lower stuff upgraded to metal. I mean, I gotta keep aware of the fact that, you know, it's now 1700 hours. This day is drawing to a close. We will have yet another wave where we're having to go back. I have to get all my rebar back now. Another day where we're gonna have to go back and do a wave at the sausage factory rather than our new base, because the new base isn't ready. I'm just going to scrap all this stuff now and switch to metal production. So I think it's 3 and 2, I can never remember. So let's just do 12 and 12 and then just target some stuff down below and find out what is it supposed to be. It's 2 rebars, 3 plates. And what's it for the bottom ones? I could do getting these bottom ones done. 3 rebars, 2 plates. Yeah, let's get. I mean, the foundations potentially okay, but because they're lower. But as I was saying earlier, they are the weakest point. They are the weakest point because 2. So we'll do 10. Oh, we'll do 12. Then we'll do 10 of these. They are the weakest point because they're a single point destruction. I can lose a wall and be fine. I cannot lose a foundation. So even though they're lower and potentially going to receive less damage, should they go, we are in a world of pain. World of pain. So it makes sense to get these done. Just a little more rebar. Still good. Right, I'm gonna crack on with this for the next, hour or 2 in game. I'll see you all in a moment. Okay, well, we've got about as much done as I think is practical for this episode. We've got a lot of the upgrades to metal done in regards to some bases. We got a lot done. We've got all of the traps put on. The traps other than guillotines is done. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely making progress. It's just such a huge base that's taking such a vast amount of resources. Let's take these baits down. It's just a vast amount of resources that it's not a quick build, I'm afraid. This is not a let's just throw up a base design and test it out, because it's just the sheer amount of resources it's going to take to get this ready. I mean, all this up here doesn't have to be metal, of course. I mean, stone will do for a lot of it. Stone will do for a lot of, well, I would say, stone will do for a lot of the upper parts of the bit where I'm standing. But to be honest, the parts where the zombies are traveling, because things can explode, stone is not explosion proof. So all of that upper area, to be honest, needs to be metal. That is a crazy amount of resources. This is not going to be a quick build. Absolutely not. It's going to take a few more episodes, I think, before we can test that out. What I'll do is, like I did on the last base, I'll stay there just for wave 1. At which point, I'll try and think of a way to just grab the bait and then run so that everything chases after me and leaves the base alone because there's no bait there anymore. So they all come running after me and I run them all up to the sausage factory. And we do, the main wave, the 2 a.m. wave somewhere where I know it's going to last, because there's no point trying to suddenly throw a new base design right in the deep end like that, and have the whole thing fail and be destroyed, when what it probably needs is just a little bit of tweaking and a few minor changes, and it would have been great, and you would have lost the chance to do that because you've thrown it in the deep end. Just a quick check. Everything here looks good. Ready. The only things I'm seeing is where there's like tiny little bits missing. As a guillotine, I don't like seeing guillotines not full, because they're so useful. They can do so much damage. An 80% effective cutter or a floor piece is fine, but an 80% effective guillotine is like, really? It was a 40 there. That's that. Was it? Yeah, that's that. That's up. That's not enough. Yeah. A lot of this back end stuff, see, shouldn't be needed. If things go to plan, the zombies don't get that far. I'm almost at the point where, do I bother just picking that and putting it back down again? Yeah, I'll leave it for now. If things go to plan, the zombies won't get that far, and I won't have to worry about it. This front area needs to be repaired, not because it's at any risk of falling down. These walls. It's just I need them to be repaired to be able to attack it through them, to just keep the opening traps up and functional. So, and I don't like having the floor underneath me damaged. It's only pieces of iron. Piece of iron you get by the bucket load from dead zombies. So I have no issue expending some pieces of iron. It's where tree branches, as we know. I have an allergy to spending tree branches on anything. It's like, leave my tree branches alone. Okay, right, so I'm now here. I'm just going to get myself ready. We've still got, 4 hours in game, so I'm not going to bore you with me taking those last 4 hours just to quickly run out and grab a few more tree branches, which is what I'll do now. So I'll see you all just in time for the wave. Okay, so here we are again. Just a little bit of the end of a daytime spawn, but we are here at episode 11-1. As Bilbo Baggins would say, it's wave 11-1. So, on such a Hobbit occasion, I'll quickly run through what the plan is. Those who are regular to the channel know exactly what I'm about to say and do, but hey, let's say it and do it anyway. So the plan is the midnight wave and the 1 AM wave are irrelevant. I will do what I can to just chop them up with the front part of the base here, just keep these cutters going and just replan the front part, and just make sure when we get close to the 2 AM wave that these guillotines here are ready and waiting for bosses. Then just before the 2 AM wave, I will go here. I will load up the 3 ballista. The ballista should I repair that ballista? Nah. The 3 ballista will be using upgraded bolts. Upgraded bolts are the most cost-effective way of killing not just regular zombies but bosses. You get 3 of those, hit something, and it hurts with upgraded bolts. It does lots of damage, and upgraded bolts do not require any rare resource to create. It's all common resources, which is fantastic. Then during the 2 AM wave, I will be using my flamer to keep the bosses, the big wave, static in this area for as long as possible, so that they take as much damage in this part of the base as I can possibly get them to take before they then carry on through the base, giving the rest of the base plenty of scope to finish off the bosses that have taken as much damage as they can at the front of the base. It's as simple as that. Now, when it's just me and I'm recording, this should go by the numbers. Should. I'm just stressing that. Only when I'm streaming and we do the whole sort of like run away and party and Benny Hills and dancing and all the other crazy stuff and pose for the audience and things, does this part of the episode get very challenging. And I want it to be challenging. It's fine. It's not I'm not sort of saying, oh, it's fine. I'm doing that on purpose. So yeah, that just ups the old ante on a stream when I'm kind of really pushed to my limits on trying to make sure we manage everything. But this episode should, I can keep stressing that because it doesn't always go to plan, should be one where I can be a bit more frugal in my use of tree branches, continue to slowly recuperate my numbers of tree branches back into a decent value. 400 is not a decent value, it needs to be 2000. Slowly creep it back up, not waste too much stuff so that I can focus my hours of the episode that are not a wave on building the new base. Yeah, just want to get prioritization on the new base. I know it says the wave is already started, but I can see a zombie down there stuck on the edge, and the first few zombies can quite often take a long time to get here. Although this is taking longer than usual. Where are they? Oh, okay, here they all come. What kept them? No idea. One stupid zombie stuck on the edge there. They all seem to be getting a bit confused at the bottom there, trying to find a pathing with that zombie stuck, but they're here now. They are here. Hopefully all is well. So yeah, this is about don't use too much resources. On top of that, it's also about don't stand too close to the fence and get yourself pulled into your base or beaten up too badly by zombies that now attack from the other side of the fence. So here we are, it's a wave 11-1 of Night of the Dead. And all seems good. Don't be very concerned about whether the wave, midnight wave, is busy. And when I mean busy, I just want to reiterate, busy to me means lots of bosses. A busy wave is a wave with lots of bosses, because that means a lot of hit points and damage potential is entering the base. A wave which is lots of what I consider to be trash mobs, even if there is wall-to-wall trash mobs, I do not class as busy, because the amount of hit points and the amount of damage capacity of that assault is negligible. It just gets chewed up by cutters. Now this wave already is quite busy. You can see I've got quite a few bosses. I've got exploders. For a midnight wave, this is quite a busy wave. They're running all over the place. They're not going where they're supposed to be going. They're just doing crazy stuff. This is a busy and confusing wave. This green boss by here, he's just partying on down and around and around. Doesn't seem to want to go anywhere. I need to keep these things prepared just so I can target through. Okay, all good. I need to eat food. You want to keep your hit points at a sensible level, just in case something strange happens. Don't want to be caught by surprise. But yeah, it doesn't matter how busy a wave is when it's... I'll get out of the way of that, because if that explodes it will set me on fire. It's about how busy a midnight or a 1 AM wave is. As I said before, it doesn't really affect the main wave, which is the 2 AM wave. It just means that if you have a busy early wave, like we kind of are at the moment, a little bit, it just means it depletes your defense in depth that your base is offering. And if you're not on top of keeping your base repaired and recharged, when the 2 AM wave hits you, you're not going to be ready for it. So this is purely a case keeping the cutters in this front area going at all times. Get rid of much of the trash mobs as possible. I don't want trash zombies using up guillotine charges. That would be just, yeah, that's the worst case scenario, that guillotines are being used to kill rubbish zombies. That makes me sad. I will sit here like, no. Okay, all is well. We're at the 1 AM now. As I said before, I mean, I know where all the spawn points are for this base. They are fixed points on the map. I know which ones spawn, and it takes them sometimes up to a whole minute or so, or maybe even more, to get here, depending on which points they're using to spawn from. So the 1 AM wave hasn't probably even hit here yet. I mean, if you watched last episode, that 2 AM wave, for a while there, I thought it wasn't even going to arrive. It took that long to get here, the 2 AM wave on last episode. I thought it's gone somewhere else on the map. Here, make sure everything is functioning well. I am going to top that up. Oh, Shredder was out. Let's just keep a few of these running a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to pop a few of these up. Just make sure these are all looking good, because I'm going to go for a quick run to the back and just check some of these. Yeah, that one's out. That one's out. Just want to keep these guillotines doing as much as they possibly can. They're very important. I mean, they are the boss killers. They are the ones that stop the zombies getting too far into the base. It's as simple as that. Okay, this 1 AM wave. Yeah, again, it's not that busy. It's not very busy. It's not many bosses. There's a little rush of exploders at the start of it, I think, but at the moment, it's mainly trash. Which is nice. Means I can deal with this wave, or this assault, the 1 AM assault, purely by standing here at the front of the base. It can be managed. Okay, we will have to go and get ready for the 2 AM now. I just kind of get used to when 2 AM is going to strike. It will be dinging soon. I'm just going to take this opportunity now to get these all fully loaded. There you go. It's going to ding 2 AM in a moment. I just feel it. Feel it in my bones. It should ding to any moment. I've got a bit of spare ammo on me if I misjudge that loading time. I can just go and top up again. In fact, I actually have misjudged that loading time. It's gone 2 AM now. And it can take us a little while for it to actually get to me. So maybe I will go and just top that up. Again. Keep all these topped up. Get in here. 40s. 20s. 40s. Get that one back up. 60s. 60s. Take a moment to, here come all the bosses. Just load that up and get in here and flame. Flame, 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 flame. Here they go. Right, this is the bit where I need to flame. This is when the beginning of the 2 AM wave gets here. This is the important part. This is the bit where the sausage factory does a specific task. And that is keep all of these at the front of the base here for as long as possible, taking as much damage as possible before they are let out. I don't reflame those that have gone past that often, because if I do that, too many bunch up at the front, and then we get trouble. We'll get base capacity problems and things trying to come through walls. What I want to do is let some go through, slowly but surely, let them get on with it, getting deeper into the base. But keep as many as I can back, just to take damage. Yeah, they'll deal damage to my base, but if I can just keep dealing damage to them, then all good. Alright, let's go and see if we can target some of the stuff in here that's probably out, like that. That's okay, that's low. We will back blast now. Just let them all have it. Run deeper, check some of this stuff, that's okay. Guillotines, out. Repair, out, repair. Guillotines don't have a lot of hit points. If you're not careful, you can lose a guillotine in a heavy wave. So just keep all them up and going. Back blast again. Keep them stationary. Repair. Get that one up and active. There's a lot back here. There's an awful lot of bosses back here. Still, even this late on in this wave, there's an awful lot of bosses in this wave. Busy wave. We got a zombie that's come through. He should get killed up there. I'll deal with him in a minute. He's coming in the back here, so normally they can't get through, but I'll just deal with this guy. Okay, let's get back to the task at hand. Let's flame all these guys. Get some of this stuff up and active. Make sure it's dealing damage. Oh, that trap had just about been destroyed. I got zombies in the back. Get some of these guillotines back up and going. If this was a stream now and I'd been running around doing Benny Hill and stuff, we would actually be in big trouble. This is a very busy wave, and I needed to be on the ball here. Yeah, we're all good there. We're all good. Yeah, if this was a Benny Hill episode, yeah, that would not have gone so well. But we're good. All good. Oh, good. Let's get a few of these. Ow. Ow. Stop hitting me through the walls. You nasty zombies. In fact, he was the only person that hit me. So. Ah, okay. We're good. There's one boss down there having a little dance. He's not quite sure what he's doing. She's fine. We've still got music going, which means the wave is not over. But I can take this opportunity to get in here and just make sure that everything here is not going to... Ooh, that one there. 20% hit points left. I mean, yeah. What? The reason why... I mean, it's not just the fact they've got weaker hit points, some of these things. Because you've got a lot of exploders dying against the guillotines, because exploders have got less hit points. There's an awful lot of explosion damage going off in this area, and traps take explosion damage. So with so many deaths in one spot, it's inevitable that your traps are just taking crazy amounts of damage there. That boss down there, he's really having a little bit of a party. He doesn't quite know what he's doing. Oh, I couldn't flame him from there. Let me try to see if I can flame him from up here. He's just wasting my charges on my cutters there, actually. No, I'm not actually... Oh, he's dead now anyway. Right, we've got some idiot down there. Stuck. Oh. My bad. Hey, been here. I don't want to use much way of bullets. I know I am. It's a bit of a waste, really. Bullets is one of those things, yet again, whereby they're extremely expensive. I shouldn't just be using them for no reason. The only time I should really be using bullets is against bears. Right, let's have a quick check in here. Make sure there's no crawlers or anything weird going on. Oh, there was a wolf. Probably over there, I think. We've got a zombie. I'm just wondering whether or not that zombie and I think another zombie I can see further off are part of the daytime wave. I think they are. Because I think the last daytime spawn hit us at 11 or 2300 hours. So 3 AM is the correct time. Yeah, these are daytime spawns. They're not part of the wave. Okay, so I'm just going to pick up some of this stuff. Let's see zombies run past. And then we'll do our usual end of episode check inside the base to see how far they got. I'm thinking because I was here, we're fine. Because when I say because I was here, what I mean to say is because it was a recording and not a stream, and I'm not doing all of the crazy, dancing and running around stuff. Because I was focusing on the defense, although that was actually quite a heavy wave, I think we should be fine. There's quite a few things I see on 0 and taking lots of damage back here. I mean, there's a lot of damage, lots of damage. I'll do repairs later. Just want to check to see how far they got. Yeah. Now, I said last episode, you can tell what kind of a wave it is based on how many bags you have in this area. This is showing you how many bosses were in the wave and how much damage the front of the base did to weaken them during that 2 AM charge to make them die here, which means they're usually exploders, and that's why this area took so much damage, including probably the walls. Yeah, I think even the walls would have taken a bit of damage in some of these places, even though walls are explosion proof. Let me just have a quick check. Sometimes these walls will take damage due to the amount of bosses that are trying to cram through. So if I can actually target my wall, please. Well, actually, no, I think we're okay. Wow. Okay, I am corrected. I stand corrected. My walls are fine. Right, let's keep on going. Yeah, lots of used up traps. All guillotines spent. Bags. Wow. We did well. Nothing got past this point, really. And that's because I was here. As in, I keep saying that. That's because I wasn't, streaming. I wasn't doing crazy stuff. I was actually spending my time doing the tasks I'm supposed to be doing at the places I'm supposed to be doing them. And that in turn meant that, no zombies got very far. But in turn, the front of the base took a lot more damage because I kept the action in this very limited area. Right, there you go. That was 11-1. 11-1 is done, folks. I'm still alive. It's still my hardcore mode. Since the game released on day 1, we are still without a single death. Yay! Which is pretty cool. And what am I doing for tree branches? 309. Probably think I need about 50 to repair the base. That's okay. I'm quite happy with that. Right, I will see you all next time for another episode of Night of the Dead. Bye now.